Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TCS eSports League. We're into our final match of the day. It is going to be between the Servette Geneva side and Lausanne eSports once again for the final time tonight. I'm Switchblade Jay, and joining me is none other than Mr. Jar of Jam, the clutch master, if you will, in the casting world. Jam, been a very, very long day so far, but what have you thought so far of today's matches? We have a couple of close affairs, actually quite a lot of close affairs, proving the point that Sweep City is certainly dead here in this league.
Oh yes, I'm looking at the results for previous 2 weeks, and it has been sweeps all through to the week number 1. Then only one close result of with Masters, barely lose it to Lausanne. And today it has been 3 tight series. Obviously, not every single one of them going to the game number 5, but everyone I think will be pretty happy to see teams really fighting for, right now, not for the live just yet. It's a little bit too early. As we mentioned previously, all teams play each other twice. So right now, we will, by the end of this day, everyone will be sitting at 3 matches. So math 5, no, actually more than that. Okay, I'm trying to do math fast. It's never a good idea.
Don't do maths when you're in the middle of casting. Just don't ever do it. Like,
11. 11 is the number of today, Jay. Remember the number 11. 11 matches is how many more games all of the teams will be having after this one. So, for example, even for the Monks, they can get back into 11-3 by the end of this one, completely shocking everyone. Many more weeks will be happening later on, so it's up for them. It's up for teams completely switched around. But for the end of today's Servette versus Lausanne, well, we have to say it is the team that we, and obviously our Lord and Savior Bacon, considers to be the top team, Lausanne eSports, having some of the biggest names in the league. Obviously, Hello Classics and Kiever. I do believe they're playing indeed in that very setup, and actually a couple of... Oh, that's only on the side of Flaw. He is bringing out the Dominus-looking car. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind on the only new things in the Rocket League. But that's the first time, I think, we've seen that car other than Octane.
I believe that there was one more coming out. One of the other new cars, which I can't remember the name of. So,
Maverick, could it be?
It might have been the Maverick. I'm not sure. It looked like a Honda Civic of some sort. But I think that's the car I'm talking about. I don't know. I was not a very big vehicle individual. But regardless, Octane's all around for game 1. An early shot's coming through from Classic, one of the standout players alongside Hello for the Lausanne side. They are in the orange half of this matchup. They will be able to defend the balls appropriately. Servette trying to get his good shot in for the other side. And good shots coming back in from Classic. Going to be defended by the defense, but Kiva trying to follow through, ducks it right in the middle. Hello with a redirect. It's barely going to get defended by Flav and Sack. Servette eventually with the clear away, follow through with the second shot. Classic can't defend it. He's not far back enough, and directly on the 1st-minute mark, he will score the opening goal.
Servette got out of that scot-free. That was 2 attempts by Lausanne that were this close. Only by throwing players behind the ball, making sure that there's always someone, the last player from Servette. Could they get out of that scot-free and on the other side of the field actually bring it into a goal? And all those 4 shots for Lausanne come to nothing. Servette hit Lausanne on the counterattack. We're pretty happy about them because when we talk about classics, when we talk about Hello Classics, obviously with a history on the Sendon squad and Hello Hell, he has been in the squads for Definity Elite Series all 3 seasons. So he is the biggest name in this league, that's for sure.
I mean, he might not be able to hold the face for the moment. Flav will eventually be able to clean it back away. Okay. So a little bit of a scare, but eventually Hello again off the post. Close, but no cigar from these boys. Ball will remain in play. Flav eventually going to get back out. Hello with control. Classic with a follow-up. Sack still going to be here. Kiva and Hello all control back off the crossbar. Hello still with the second backboard touch. Kiva going to try to dunk it down to the redirection, but it's not going to happen. So playing on at 1-0 so far with the Servette Geneva side in control and with the ball. Kiva on the midfield for the moment. Hello, one more good shot, pass back towards Classic, and his passing play is looking good, but not looking amazing. Again, a little bit too high on that shot. That would have been a direct goal, I think, if Sack and Classic, if Kiva and Classic were lined up appropriately. Didn't quite work out for them. We approach half-time. It's still going to be an opening goal and nothing else scored against them to the favour of the Servette side.
Well, perhaps even with those passes being a little bit off the mark, I still feel like this matchup, the last matchup of the day, is the best we're going to see today. Both of these teams will bring out the best Rocket League we've seen as of yet. And right now it is all Lausanne. It's just Servette had one chance, they used it well, and after that 9 straight shots from Lausanne, not letting Servette almost never out of their own half. But the defense is doing wonders, acrobatic saves, trying with any ways to push the ball out, not even thinking about controlling the other side of the field. This is the first chance, but immediately gets stopped. Flaw is not even going for it. He makes sure that he's playing in a soft defensive position, just so that Lausanne can't possibly sneak anything past him.
Getting close though, Lausanne. All out to that corner, Sack with a good shot, Kiva. Back in the back line's going to be able to save it, so keeping control for the moment in time. Still 1 minute and 30 on the clock, and they are setting things up on their aggressive forces here. The Servette team are not letting go of anything at the moment. Good passes back into the corners. Affairs very little boost to try and gain control. Eventually be able to get challenged by one of the players on that backboard. Kiva keeps things in close. Flag with a good shot. Classic can't get back, just about puts it off target. It's a fair with a follow-up, but Kiva rotating in time to follow through with a secondary shot of his own. It's going in, and no one's saving it. There we go. The one goal they needed to take to evens at 1 minute on the clock. It goes to the favor of Lausanne. I believe we have lost Mr. Jar of Jam, unfortunately, so the cursed broadcast continues to be cursed across all lines of the matter of form. But don't worry, I imagine he will get back straight into the matchup as Classic scores another boomer down from his side of the pitch. Kiva setting him up, just quickly pushing it forward, and Classic was able to slip it past both of the last 2 defenders. Right there at 2-1 now. It's straight back to the favor of the Lausanne side. The Servette still struggle to get themselves back into play. Still got 60 seconds left. Hammond looking confident as Servette puts this one off the backboard. Couldn't quite find it. Classic is still going to be here, and all 3 players on the defense kind of hold it down. But Servette cannot afford to get cleared. They need to set up a goal. This first game will be going to the favor of the Lausanne. I think the first game so far today, which has not gone to the favor of the underdogs. So Classic trying to dunk it down, trying to make it a short fire victory. Hello will still hold towards the corner as the 30-second gong sounds. Flab and Zaffair still going to be up here as the ball returns back to the box. Sack holding face. Classic with control. And Hello taking back towards the corner, and this is all just stalling for time here. 15 seconds. Servette need to mount a counter-attack. Kiva back up, control away. Zaffair controls it back into the corner. 8 seconds left as Classic is allowed control. He can't be allowed control as the ball remains inside this corner. Flav will take control of his own accord. Hello, it's allowed. Zaffair with a good chip back of the backboard. Second touch, no. Classic denies it. It hits the floor, and it will be Lausanne to take the first game of our series. Jar of Jam, you have returned.
Oh, hello, Jay. What have I missed? Could you please tell me the score of the game and who won?
Well, very quickly after you dropped out, we had an equalizer scored by Lausanne, and they just as quickly took a second on their board. So they've just run out of time. We've just seen them take the opening game of the matchup, and certainly felt like they were controlling the pace of the ball throughout that last 60 seconds. So jumping into this second one, I feel like it might be a bit of a problem for Servette to hold face. Have been able to get control in the early part of the game, but it's that last part of the game that's really going to be a struggle. Just a quick question, do you need the lobby details to rejoin by any chance?
No, I'm already here and watching Servette and Lausanne, and Demolition by Zaffair and Classic. Not making any chances as the place immediately starts. Sagda, what a great shot! I'm glad it came back here for this one in time. From the other side of the field to the other, Flav, as if he read it, like so perfectly played. Sack dropping on it, and unlike a Sack, he just gets it done. Wow, Servette, bravo, if you can continue doing this, and if you can avoid that last part of the game where he completely might fall apart, then it's all good. Flav, only until the of the crossbar, but there's a follow-up third player. Sack can redirect it. Great stuff from Servette we're seeing in this.
Again, it's that early control from these guys. First goal being found, and obviously the follow-through is coming out, almost amounting to a second. They're on target for a second, and Flab, the chip, it goes off the crossbar. Classic can barely defend it. Sack trying to come through, but an opportunity set up, barely defended. Now Kiva trying to return fire, will be able to control it, but Servette kills it. Flab follows through, and both players will struggle to get it out on the clear eventually. They will be able to get it to that midfield nonetheless. Kiva still there to return fire. Zaffair rotating in just in time. And Flav will be here. Ball out to the mid play. Classic holds face. It's still just 1 minute over so far. Zaffair still going to return fire. Try to keep this one early in the favor of the Servette side.
I'm liking what Servette is doing right now. Lausanne in game number 1 were making all the shots. It was one shot, one goal from Servette, and that was it for them. Really, they couldn't properly continue. And of course, in the end, Lausanne won with those 2 goals at the very end. Right now, Lausanne is being kept to only immediately 2 shots themselves. Sack dropping it once again. With a name like that, you didn't expect. Well, I mean, Sack's drop, I suppose. I don't want to go anywhere forward with that analogy. Servette 2-0. Lausanne kept to absolutely nothing, and those setups in the air are working wonders for Servette. Lausanne can't put anything up in the air, on the ground. No block opportunities. What that was, that kickoff though. Sack and Flav both going for it.
I think they quickly realized that they were both going for it and tried to break away both of the players at the exact same time. So Flav with control. Still trying to see if he can set something up off the back of this kickoff. A bit of a disaster kickoff, but regardless, it is a 2-0 right now for the Servette Geneva side. Zaffair will have control. Sack still here with a good shot on target, going off the post this time. Still demos out one player. Flav to keep it on target, but Hello gains control. And Zaffair in there alongside his teammates and Flav into the mid-play. A shot on target, just about defended by Hello as he rotates back once again. Sack I'm going to set it up for the quick clear. Zaffair with a block back. So approaching half-time, it still is going to be a 2-0 lead for the Lausanne. Sorry, not for the Lausanne, for the Servette side. Lausanne, however, can very quickly turn that around. We already saw that in game number 1, how they were able to score 2 quick goals back-to-back and took the lead away from the Servette side.
Right now, it's not looking that likely, but quick goals and quick opportunities come out of nowhere. And if Lausanne did it once, Lausanne can do it again. Classics find this in front of the net in traffic. As Servette eSports can react quickly enough to a pass from Kiva, dropping straight down to Classic, who was just rotating through. Coming by and found a goal. He'll be happy about that one. 2-1. Servette still in the lead, but still, the half of the match is still there for Lausanne to bring it back to a tie game. Maybe still a sweep opportunity, or who knows. It is Servette trying to hold on to that lead.
That is a very nice starter play coming in from the Lausanne side. Oh, hang on a second though. Not quite enough. Obviously, Lausanne as pinned by Bacon to be the favourites overall in this tournament. They certainly are proving their worth. Obviously, some very notable names in the form of Classic and Kiva and Hello. And their team play seems to be pretty damn dominant so far in this match. I mean, you can see even their passing plays work up to the defensive as well as the offensive. They're able to clear eventually. Sack, sorry, and there's a fair control. Sack actually demoed out by Hello, but Flav still able to get control towards this midfield. Classic going to try and return fire. That shot's on target, followed up by Hello, just defended by Sack, keeping it away from the second man attack and keeping things in the lead of Servette.
Oh, and speaking of the lead,
follows up with a third. There we go.
Yeah, they're just coming every single time at the end of our little conversation and sends a Sack actually out of nowhere. He dropped on Classics. Classics didn't suspect anything, and such a win that wasn't looking anything like a goal. The second converted hat-trick for him already. He's making sure that Servette is still winning, and not going to be a great setup for Flav. But he sends it a tad too strong, and even Zaffair can bring it into the net. So close to the post, and yet on the other side of it. So fun fact for you, Jay. Hello actually won one of the rival esports tournaments back in the days with Alpha and Itachi as SGT Leplufor, whatever that name might mean. I think even on the day we're so wondering what on earth is that name. And yet, well, I mean, whatever the name was, they won opening opportunity. Sack can get the ball, can get the demolition. The teammate Flav gets one on the board as well. Servette is running away with this one.
So Sack has been involved with all 4 of the goals being scored by Servette Geneva in this game. The first 3 were scored by him. He got the hat-trick very quickly, and of course that 4th, he had a hand in the assistance on the part of Flav. So 4-1 with 40 seconds left. It's a hell of a comeback for the Lausanne side, and it certainly looks like Servette Geneva are going to chime on through towards equalizing the series. A bit more of a goal difference this time. Flav still going to try to see if he can take it 2-5, but can't quite go all the way. Servette and Sack back on the defensive rotation, so we're able to maintain ball control away from the offensive. Actually, just kill that momentum. We're back off the wall. Sack can actually just leave it here, just allow them to try and take a little bit of control, trying to see if he can block them, which again just stops the ball from feeding all the way back towards the blue half of the pitch. Stops that counter-attack and stalls for crucial seconds because the seconds are running out, and it all but confirms what we know for game number 2. It's going to go to the favour of Servette Geneva. As the ball touches the ground, it's 1-1 in our series.
All right, so not a single sweep today. There's an opportunity for a reverse sweep. Still, oh, actually, no, not in here. Reverse sweep, it's 2-0 in a lead and then coming back with 3 wins in a row. Lausanne not even having that chance, or Servette not having this one. They'll be happy with what they got. And wow, I have to say, Sack, I am in awe what he's showing right now. He is in the air everywhere. His shots are strong and threatening. He's passing to his teammates, and he's also working out in defense. He is the MVP of this game.
Yeah, like he was absolutely insane. Certainly stepped things up back from when he was back from that first game, and just absolute domination from his part. You know, 3 goals, had the assist on the 4th goal. I think he almost had the assist on that 5th goal that nearly came through. But regardless, it's a very, very great performance from him individually, and obviously it was kind of pretty much what won that game for Servette. So we're back in at 1-1. The series has all been evened up. We've still got at least 2 more games to play, if not a 3rd potentially here for this particular series. Our final series today, as you said, Jam, was going to be a banger, and certainly I believe that is the case.
Well, this couldn't mean anything but a banger. I feel like with those teams, with the top team of the whole thing in Lausanne and Servette obviously bringing up the pace. Actually, who did Servette lose? Oh, actually, Servette lost to the Swiss improbable, almost called them raviolis. Obviously, though, they are the rebels. That was actually, I'm surprised how they did that. 1-0, 3-1, and 1-0. So close affairs all around. Might not be as close here. Goals galore. Servette and Lausanne both knows how. And Classics and the rest of the squad coming in. There I go again. Just talking.
just for a moment there, Jam.
I'm still here.
I just see your face freeze up. I'm just like, okay, now we've got problems.
Yep. Here I'm back again. We're still waiting for a couple of players to get back on the field. Servette, Lausanne at the tie, and the result of the series would mean that Lausanne either go and I do believe they actually go to the top spot. Did the Swiss Incredible? What was it? Incredible Rebels?
Incredible Rebels. Swiss
Indeed, Incredible Rebels. Yeah, actually, they will tie in with the Swiss Incredible Rebels if they win, because obviously they won their series against Monk. Servette only have a chance to step up a little bit higher with a 2-1 result. And as both teams are joining the field, here it is, the game number 3, Servette Lausanne. This is going to be a late one, Jay.
Seems like it may well be. The series has all been equalized, and we are ready to see who's going to take this match point overall. Although that being said, it looks like we're going to have a couple more problems. We seem to have lost a player. No? We good? Okay, no, we're good. Okay, we're fine. Game 3 is now up to play for. Again, in case you have forgotten, it's Servette in the blue, Lausanne in the orange. And only kickoff does favour the Lausanne side. Sack not going to go for that challenge. Instead, that was a fair to get the quick booming clear back away. Kiva challenge for it, and Zafair and Classic will take each other out on those rotations. That actually sets up a decent opportunity. There's no 3rd man on the defense, but still they're able to clear it. So the ball out towards the midfield play. Hello and Classic challenging for ball control of their own accord. That's a 50-50 for the ages. Hello kicking things off in style.
That's the slowest dribble, even with the Classic bringing down the Hello's neck. But the flip that he did work in his favor at the bounce, comes in straight to his car and then back into the net, chipping the defense of Servette eSports. Lausanne starting this one the way they wanted. Really, they don't need to wait for until the end of the game to get in the lead of this one. They had all the strength, all the teamwork to get on the end of this one. Sack almost gets it through. What? That was a flavor coming in as well. He made me even a little bit of a... Well, he was a tad too late, really. By that time, Lausanne was already on the end of that one. Servette fighting tooth and nail for any shots, any opportunity up front, making sure that Lausanne is always under threat.
Still, the fact that he was able to get that redirection enough. Oh, hold on! What happened there? I was going to talk about the qualities of Sack's near redirection goal, but What happened here, boys? As everyone rotated away, I guess they weren't expecting the feedback from Kiva in the midfield. That seems to be what I can see.
Kiva got a height on his opponent's sack, and as a result, the bounce went straight into the direction of the net where Hello was already roaming. So Hello gets a second and third goal. Maybe no, it's a follow from Skiver and Classics all together. But even together, they can bring the ball in. The dribbles are still, they're so very patient. They're waiting for their opponent to commit. And only then they get a move. Or sometimes they're always there before the opponent even knows what they're doing. Lausanne eSports are bringing it all currently on the field. A pinch!
Oh, no!
We're seeing it all.
Oh, wow. I think that's our first own goal, or like proper own goal of the day as well. It's a fair. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. That's a really tough pill to swallow as well. Like, full on, just like, oh, jeez. That's...
What's that word for feeling embarrassment for someone else? I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you're feeling right now, Jay.
Cringe.
Myself
That's
included. Oh my
cringe.
God, Classics. They're not just not stopping Lausanne. Saw the Servette scored 4 on them in the whole 5 minutes. Lausanne just scored 4 on Servette in 19 seconds. They're scoring one after the other. Again, I'm trying to do math. I'll stop immediately. Servette eSports in so much trouble. The game number 2 was so up in their favor. Like everything that Sack was doing, Zafir and the Fly obviously were supporting him as well. But right now, Lausanne just on the roll and not stopping. And Servette eSports, unless they start banging them right now, it's feeling like the game will run away before we even hit the halftime.
Oh, nice tap from Sack, but unable to follow all of it. Flab does not win the 50-50 either. So you are seeing from some potential coming in from the Servette side. Actually, a good chip up. Zafir going to try to see if he can take the redirection. Not enough boost, not enough momentum. The ball's way out of angle, so way too acute on that one. Classic still taking control. Pass back. Great in play towards Fukiva. It's a 5-0 here from the Lausanne side.
I mean, by this point, seemingly it is already over in competitive play as Classics passes it straight to Kiever, who was already there all the time. He will be always there for Classics. Lausanne wants this to end right here. They won't get any extra points for this one. They only get on the match point in the series. But they're making sure that the intentions are known, that they are the strongest side, that Hello and Classics came into this one to win. And they really want to win against their opponents. So once again, Lausanne at the 2-0, actually dropped to series. Who was it exactly that they dropped them to? It was last week, and surprisingly enough, it was against the Whiffmasters. Whiffmasters are full of surprises, I have to tell you, winning against the Lausanne squad when they're playing it. Maybe their playing were a little slightly worse last week, but right now it is a complete another demolition. This game is as good as over. Right now, the only thing that can happen is Lausanne scoring even more and completely embarrassing their opponent Servette, or Servette finding some positive in this one. Right now, they're not even getting to the other side of the field, blocking by Lausanne, even when Lausanne really doesn't need anything from this match anymore.
Yeah, like you say, this one might already be over. Like, how do you come back from a 5-0 deficit? I mean, unless Sack does something really good here, but going to get blocked by Hello as the mid-play shot comes to fruition. I do hope, however, that the comms over on the Servette side are certainly thinking about how they're going to be able to come back in the next game, because it's not over yet. It will be match point for the Lausanne side, but there's still 2 more games to go if they want to try and mini reverse sweep it in this best of 5. Certain shots coming through from Classic and Kiva trying to follow it up, but I hope Servette are focusing on that next game, because it does look like this one is a loss. They're taking way too long to get these setups set up, so 5-0. Come back to that in a little bit over 60 seconds. Not going to make it 6-0 to the favour of the Lausanne side. Just looks like a bit too much of a hurdle to overcome.
The only thing that Servette can do right now is use those remaining seconds to figure something out. Like, try a play and see if it works. And just try to dropping everything that doesn't work. Right now, seemingly nothing really works for them. Bringing the ball to the other side, nothing. Oh, kickoff goal. Can't rely on those. Can't possibly rely on those. This is just a setup for a Brazil. We haven't had a Brazil yet. With the time remaining, like, timer didn't even move at all, Jay. It's still, we're around 80 seconds marker. Servette's still losing. And Jay, I think I know what happened. Will he be okay?
I'll be okay.
Alright.
This is the 4th time today the game has crashed on me.
Absolutely. So, as the timer goes to the minute mark, we'll be seeing Lausanne eSports feeling pretty comfortable at Servette in game number 3. This is a victory for them. undeniably, there's no turning back from this one. Can Zephyr do something with the passing plays? A little bit too strong, although there was a great opening. Lausanne were hit hard. Pass is not coming in as quickly as they would want it. Counterattack still coming in if Zephyr and Sek can control it, but they steal the ball off each other and bring the ball to nothing. As on the other side of the field, Classics barely controlling the ball. I'm not sure why he jumped in that situation. Loses the opportunity to score that 7th and bring Lausanne to that horrible, well, for them, really celebratory, but horrible for the Servette eSports, the shame over Brazil. Seemingly, so far, will be kept Brazil-less. As Jay, do you think there will be a Brazil in this one, or will it be 3-2 another 6-2, or maybe just still a 6-1?
Well, 20 seconds to find out here. Right now, they are on the offensive pressure for the Servette side. They can take the seconds affair up for the backboard. Not going to quite find it. Flat actually in with the dunk opportunity, but won't be able to find it vice versa. Hello will clear it. Shot on target. Zephyr will be able to defend it. No, that's going in. No, it's not quite going in. Just holding face at the 50-50. But regardless, Lausanne will still be 2-1 up in this series. Only one more game for them to go before they are able to... Sorry.
Like, is disappointment like visible on my face? Do I look like the man who will demand his money back for not having a Brazil? Twice now we have been robbed of that pleasure. But Lausanne just dropped Servette out of any pleasure they got from game number 2. 4-1. They must have been so elated. Darn, we're getting such a great win against Lausanne themselves, the team that everyone should be fearing in the TCS eSports League. And yet, it's a complete another turnaround. Lausanne started the game with 4 goals in 90 seconds, meaning that it was a non-stop slaughter of Servette eSports. They just couldn't continue. Oh, the timer has started. Are we missing one? Yeah, unfortunately, we're missing one. Classics already left halfway through. So we'll have to restart this lobby. A little bit of false start for both teams. Really could hurt both of them. For Servette eSports, they're currently thinking, oh my god, we are in a horrible position after that previous game. We are not really getting anything of this one. It could mess with their heads. On the other side, Lausanne could also think, oh god, we need to sort of mentally reset just slightly. And it's still open up for discussion. 5 minutes on the field. We'll decide everything and not just this waiting in between the matches. So Servette can still bounce back with this one. We might yet to see the game number 5 in this series. Although Lausanne eSports certainly made it look like as if it's already over in game number 3.
Yeah, certainly seemed like they made it look over right there. But I mean, again, it's game number 3. You know, we've still got game number 4 to go. As you say, the next 5 minutes could decide the outcome of everything, or we could just be going straight back in for another full 5-game series. It all just depends on how Servette Geneva want to try and play this next one. But I do hope, again, that the comms were going in that last game, that they were thinking about how they're going to play things out, and more specifically on just not letting that complete domination just wear down on your mind. Because that's really where the mentality game just goes straight out the window, and it's like, well, we've lost now, and then there's no other way that you're getting back into the series, regardless of how you play in the next game.
Unfortunately, we've seen many of situations like that. If you have been following the RLRS qualifiers, there have been a lot of drama on Twitter of players dropping into the lower brackets, not even getting out of the tournament, just to the lower brackets, and refusing to play, thinking that they're not worth it. That's even worse than what might happen here. So, boy, oh boy, the mentality of some of the players perhaps still needs a little bit of a tweaking. Do we still have the right players? They're so slow at joining. I think they're just trying to drag out the time. Hello's here, but we are missing one player already as the Rocket Shuffle begins. I do believe we are, well, at least we'll do a little bit of dance. Well, Lausanne, what they did, really, the hits that they've been getting on Servette, the fact that they could do this so non-stop, one after the other, is the thing what really decided that game. After 1 goal is just a coincidence. 2 goals is down. We need to really tighten up our belts. 3 goals is now a rule, and 4 goals means that it's already almost over for you. That's exactly what Lausanne did to Servette in game number 3. But for Servette, it's good news. Good news. It's 5 minutes on the clock. It's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Classic sack, or actually not classic, sorry, everyone's confusing me as everyone's jumping on one side on the other. It is, of course, Zephyr, Sackert, and Flav will be trying to bring Servette back into this one after Lausanne did something unimaginable to them.
All right, now we are just waiting for just one staff member to get into our lobby. Not sure why he's not, but when we're there, we can get started, obviously. Yeah, no. Quick prediction though, Jam. Do you believe that
yes. Always.
Do you believe? You haven't even heard what I'm going to be giving.
I believe, Jay. I absolutely believe. Just please don't turn this question on its head and ask us something absolutely horrible, and then put it as a quote on Twitter and for everyone. No, apparently we gave up on this one. Wow.
I see you've been watching my timeline recently.
So, Jay, will he be a good friend, or will he put me down?
I was just going to ask, do you believe that there will be a chance for Servette to turn this back around and take 2 games in a row?
There's definitely an opportunity. It is a hard task. Lausanne eSports. I mean, every single time we talk about them as the top team of the league, and there's that for a reason. But even the top teams might have their off days and off game. Right now, obviously, the good thing, or maybe the horrible thing about Rocket League, you never know. Some fans, the fans might think that this might be absolutely heartbreaking and heart-wrecking, is the fact that from one game to the other, a lot can change. And if the team doesn't get on the roll, doesn't get into the swing of things, even if they get a 6-1 in one game, might completely turn against them in the other game. Today, we've seen already these complete changes, and if actually, in a really swift motion, do this for whatever reason. We've seen 6-2 from Monk against the Swiss Incredible Rebels, and then it turned around completely. Swiss Incredible Rebels managed to get that series back on track in 5 games, though. But mostly today we have seen, obviously, the demolitions at the very end of it. With Masters, you got one against Servette 6-1. That was, again, the closest one we got to the Brazil. Sound got one over Arctic by the end. And now there's still a possibility, and Jay, it has been a day of surprises. It might as well be that the Servette get another surprise, just the 4th one, because, well, actually it was. Okay, it will be a 3rd one, because Team SIR didn't concede to Mong as much as we would have wanted it. But it's not a sweep city at all. It is 4 teams. Well, actually, what am I saying? 8 teams, 4 matches. Millions of games already. We have been here for a long time. Only 2 potentially games remain. I think I still believe, Jay. I think I still believe in Servette.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I do. I think I do agree. To be honest, I believe for a little bit about in Servette and what they can do. Obviously, they're showing a little bit of promise. Again, I'm just hoping that they just don't let the same domination ring on their mind. Because again, I'm a big fan of mental play. You know, for me, I've always been whenever I've been a coach in certain scenarios and for various different teams across their various different games, I've always kind of focused on team and player mentality, because that is the one thing that I find kills most squads more than anything else. It's just that looking at your situation, it's like, we are so far down, there's no way we're coming back, and then just your mental game, even though you might be trying, and you're trying in terms of playing, your mental game is completely screwed, and realistically, you're underperforming regardless. So that's something I always like to focus on when I see whitewashes like that last game. And I guess you could say that kind of it is sort of certain towards the mean, you know, of the Brazil. But, you know, I'm assuming that it hasn't gone ahead and done that. I do believe in the Servette side.
Yeah, it is. If you get a chance, if someone of the top teams in Rocket League are streaming, or just you see someone playing as a team on stream, you get a chance to listen in, because that is a pretty big difference. You can sometimes hear when a team is winning and they really go, yes, another one, yes, we're really crashing this. And then the sudden turnaround when they start conceding and start losing, oh my god, the comms die down. Nobody's saying anything, and the atmosphere is just getting worse and worse and worse. And if the teams can't pick themselves up, really by the straps by that point, it's all lost. And yeah, I completely agree. This is the one thing that the teams really must be thinking all the time. It's not just about the teamwork on the field. It's not about the individual technique. It's also being right here in the head and need to be stronger.
That's the silent special side element, I guess you could say, of the world of esports, including Rocket League. So it looks like we're all ready to go. We've got all of our admins and casters and broadcasters. And it looks like we've got all the players as well. So here we go. Finally ready to kick off game number 4 here between Servette Geneva and the Lausanne side. If the Lausanne side win this next game, then it's going to be a series victory for them at 3-1. Servette fighting to stay alive here in match day number 3, in week number 3 of the TCS eSports League. They do get the early shot off, but Classic is going to be able to gain control. There's a fair. It's another shot back on towards the orange net. It's Flab now with control. Classic in towards the corner will be able to gain a little bit of ball control, but actually misses that secondary touch, meaning that Sack's able to hold face for a moment. Not past Hello, though. He gets himself off the wall instead, going for a shot. Classic redirected challenge by Flab. Saw the danger and made sure he accounted for it. So no early goals in the opening 30 seconds, but maybe in the opening forward scene, not quite. Too high. Classic able to clear it, so we continue to play on to the favour of the Lausanne side.
We'll just be keeping our options open for the opening goal. Maybe if not 50 seconds, then a minute, and we'll just be keeping on expanding, making those chances. Right now, both of the teams, and us as well, took quite a bit of a break. So going back to the whole mental thing, who will come into this one slightly cold, a little bit uncomposed, and whether Servette or Lausanne will be able to actually keep their strength, keep the head in the game, rather than relaxing just a little bit and suddenly going off. Right now, I don't think that there's any weakness. Even if they perhaps not immediately on it 100%, I think they're really playing carefully not to make any mistakes, making sure that whatever their move are, they're pretty good. Classics, that's the best own goal we haven't seen just yet. What a drop.
I honestly started getting flashbacks to the Colosseum of that ridiculous sort of like backwards pass like into the goal. I can't remember who it was from. It was someone from PSG. But regardless, it was like that, but in reverse and into an own goal. It really did look like it would have been a disaster from Classic if he had scored that. But thankfully he didn't, and we will continue to play on. Still all even up at the 0 marker. Kiva with a very good shot trying to change that, but won't be able to follow suit. It's a fair holds face. And Sack still playing in the back line, so we'll be able to defend the incoming clear from Hello. Taking back alongside Kiva. Classic gains control. Sack gonna go right past to get the 100 boost. And Zafair and Flav both double commit towards this. Sack back in. Zafair with great control. Back off the backboard. This is right on target. Third man to come through. Sack just pushed out the way by Kiva's control. It goes off the crossbar more than anything else. But it's still to the favour of the Servette side. They keep a mountain of control in towards the orange half until Kiva goes for that clear. That one's on target, but Sack is once again in position to defend, but not against this passing play. Instead, that's Zafair able to defend.
It is a passing place on both sides. What Servette is trying to set up with 2 or even 3 players. He's immediately batting the other side off the post and out. Classics on the follow-up a little bit too close. Lausanne and Servette both.
Uh-oh. I think he's got to get guys. It looks like his cam's frozen on my side, but regardless, we'll play on again. 2 minutes on the clock, still all zeroed out. Hello with control. Flav also here. Classic. It's going to be demoed here on the front line, so the defensive kind of plays in for Servette's side. Ball almost shot in from Flav himself, going a little bit too high. Hello has control, as does Sack back here with a good shot on target. Hello just going to be able to clear it towards the left-hand side. Ball in, good pass, sort of pass. Classic and Hello both challenging towards the midfield. It goes back towards the center where 2 players are going to commit on the Servette side. Now Flav with a clear shot. Classic going to take it away. Hello passes back into that midfield where Kiva's waiting for the shot. He misses, and that's going to be a crucial clear now back for Zafair. Still can't seem to line up the actual goal that they need here on the Servette side. We've got a minute to go. We're still all zeroed out, so it is anyone's matchup. 60 seconds on the clock. Zafair into the corner, out to the center. Going to try to see if we can maintain control past Hello's position, and now Sack in with a dunk opportunity. Kiva just comes in off this backboard. We continue to play on here, on for overtime, in fact, if this keeps going this way. Sack clears back to Zafair. Flav also into the corner where Kiva is holding face for a moment in time. Into the midfield, actually misses a crucial double touch. Flav once again passing back to Zafair. Into the center, Flav up for a shot. He's going to try take it 0 angle. He's not able to line himself up appropriately for it. Sack also misses in the midfield. Zafair going to try and defend and will be able to defend as appropriate. Still 17 seconds left on the clock as Flav passes to Sack. Trying to see if he can get an aerial doink back away, but 10 seconds remaining. Sack with control, Classic passes in. Flav takes a little bit of control back away. Sack now, back to Servette, a shot on target, second touch, goes on the floor. We're in overtime, Jan, at 0-0. I guess I see Jan was rejoined this as well, so welcome back.
I'm thankful that Servette and Lausanne decided not to score any of the goals, as that was the way very, very gentlemanly of them. But Servette is getting so very close to scoring these, even at the end of regulation time. They only needed 2 more seconds, but Servette really only needs 1 goal to bring this to the end. Servette don't want this to sneak away from them. I think they have been putting on all the efforts in this game. Again, it's the turnaround complete. After the game number 3, it might have looked like Lausanne was really running away with this one, the whole series. But no, it is now a tied game. It's the first time, I do believe, we're going into the overtime with the 0-0 scoreline. If my notes are actually correct. No, actually, we went once. Actually, sorry, that's a completely different tournament. I need to change my notebook much more often. Servette and Lausanne are playing on a field still.
The control of the Helvette side. The Lausanne side. Hello. Sorry, it's the ELV versus the ELS tag. It's very annoying and very difficult to try and get a hold of, but regardless, Hello, going to get demoed out by Servette, who follows it around for a goal set up. Sack couldn't quite get there. And again, we're fighting for the survival in this series of the Servette side. A shot from Hello going to be denied by Flab. Sack gets it out towards Servette, but Servette couldn't quite gain control, so it's Flab off that backboard. Classic going to kill the ball's momentum and try to feed it back into the counter-attack, but Sack is once again remaining in play. Ball out, Servette, try and dunk it down. Hello should be able to save this, and indeed he will be able to do so. Sack still playing in the midfield, going to try to see if he can center this up. Not quite on point, but regardless, Classic to the midfield where Flab is there to receive. Actually sets up Kiva. Servette just about defends and keeps things in control and keeps us playing on in overtime.
Really today, almost no opportunities like this one. Shots off the side wall were resulted for the team who made it. It was almost always a setup for the other team. And Lausanne get another one from Servette as it was this close. Kiva sending it towards the net. You just don't want to play like that. You know that there will always be a player. Sack gonna beat this affair, not on this attempt, and blocked again. Lausanne wants nothing for this ball to do on the other side of the field and immediately send it to where Servette will try to mash it back again. Quick play, ball not holding on in one side of the field or the other for too long.
That backboard play looked like it was going to be so good there from Servette, but again, Lausanne just maintain control with their clears. And now with their counter-attacks, Kiva out to Hello, trying to see if he can pinch it off that backboard, centers it up, but the second man cannot get there in time. Actually goes back, Classic just going to be able to defend it back far enough in this case. Hello rotates in, but Classic rotating back in from the left to the right. Very quickly on his defensive line, he holds face for, I think, the defensive savior medal at this point. Sack, Classic, challenge, Kiva. Back to Hello, going to be denied by Flab with 3 minutes into this overtime. Almost playing out a full game, but Flab looks to try and end it right here. And it goes above Classic, going off the roof of his car, pinching off the crossbar. And it will be game 5 between Servette Geneva and Lausanne eSports.
Servette eSports did what they needed to do over a long period of time. It's just that the attacks were slowly coming in. And you can see that the Lausanne were always later and later to these. One player remaining in the defense. Servette always had an advantage over the Lausanne. And finally, it comes to this. Servette in a long-fought overtime. That's actually, indeed, it's the first scoreless overtime we had today. Jet one in. And Jay, game number 5 again. And predictions are completely out of the window. Servette so far, I mean, they had that game number 2 with the Sack and his 3 goals and then a follow-up from Flav. Made sure that Servette will be running away with that one. But for a game number 5, it's impossible to predict. We had the turnarounds and then turnarounds some more and then turnarounds on top of turnarounds. This is now it was a 1-1 game, then it was a 2-2 game, and it was a series of dribbles, and even Hello is on the end of that one. And he ended up getting in the easiest. Oh God, English. I'm losing the ability to speak it, Jay. Servette and Lausanne, last 5 minutes, whoever wins this one wins the series, get themselves a really great boost for next week as well. Lausanne eSports right now, well, still the strong team on paper and strong team a couple of results we've seen today, but not exactly the best team specifically. Servette still with a chance to run away with this one.
Sack control, Servette in with a good redirect, but again challenged 50-50 by Hello. Kiva also missing the challenge against another player from the Servette side. Sack and Flav, Hello here as well, Servette. Control in play towards that corner. Kiva going to try to see if he can get it off the roof. He does get a successful shot, but Flav is well set up for it, and it will be away from target. So Sack back in to the corner. Flav back in for the challenge, but won't be able to find a whole lot out here. Again, very early days of the first minute has ticked by, still no goals to be scored, and back and forth we will continue to go. But again, domination here in towards the blue half. Loads of players pushed up and suppressing the Servette side. They almost got a passing play inland. Hello with a second touch, not going to be quite allowed. Sack reads it, and again pushes it back towards the corner, where Classic is going to have to reset things up once again.
There's another follow-up from Lausanne. The players won't be there. Classics retreated back. Thinking that the attack is over, and pretty much it was over, but despite all of that, Servette giving a little bit of breather, not really using that time to bring the ball in under their control. You can see that even Kiva can win the ball easily against 2 or 3 players of Servette, keeping the ball on the other side. The passing plays from Lausanne start up again. They have a plan in mind. The only currently is not working for them just yet. Zafir doesn't even jump for it, as he must have misread it completely. This was straight on him. Instead, it was straight past.
I guess he was expecting Sack to get that clear. Didn't see Classic until the last second. It certainly looked like he didn't have his eyes on it. I was just taking a look at it from his perspective on the replay. So I think that's what's given Lausanne the advantage now. 3 minutes to go. Sack will still try and get a good shot off. Servette on the other side. No way! Very quickly back into the game. The defensive couldn't line up for it. Only one man there, and we are back to evens.
I think Kiva saw Zafir on this one, but Zafir was just too quick to this, too precise. The angle at which he could put the ball into the net was minuscule, really. There was Kiva in front of him. Any more to the left, and the ball would be out of the net as this goes in off a pass off the crossbar. It just had so little opportunity, and yet he used it fully. Zafir with a second one now. The passing place comes in with Flav. Setting us up on the flank. That's for Kiva as well. We clear, and a strong pass for Flav. With Zafir finishes off just because he was still in the attack, still feeling that there's still a chance for Servette up on the Lausanne side.
Just like that, Servette are back in the lead, Jam. Opportunity to take this series away, and I guess you could call it an upset. They're gonna find a shot. Sack just needed to move out the way, allow Flav to take the shot, the 50-51 against Hello, and just like that, we're 3-1 up. Quick goals being scored, very reminiscent of Game 3.
Wow, this is Servette. How many seconds have passed? I haven't looked on the clock, but that's 3 goals. The fastest. Could that be 4? Kiva's already on the back wall, trying to clear it. Servette eSports really doing the 4th game. It's a 4-1. It is not the Sack. Sack this time is actually sitting behind, watching as his teammates doing all the work. But he's absolutely okay with that. Lausanne, oh my god. They're in danger of getting 6-1 themselves. Servette suddenly on fire. It is unstoppable. 4 goals in no time. That is the biggest, I think, turnaround we've seen today.
Seriously is, man. Like, very, very quick goals coming in from the Servette side, and now Lausanne feeling the pressure. When the weight of all the world is pushing down upon your shoulders, all you have to do is push right back. But they've also got the weight of Servette to contend with. They are 3 goals in the lead. Zafir and Flav control back. Kiva and Classic here. Kiva will be able to control into the box. Flav in with a good shot. Zafir missing off that backboard chance, but towards Kiva. Hello, passed in. He goes way too far wide. Is this a sign of Lausanne's confidence in their own right fading? Obviously, we're talking about that on the part of Servette at the end of that real stopper of a match, but now I can see the cracks starting to show. Are they giving up on this game right now?
It's a little bit too early. It's 90 seconds. There's still plenty, ample opportunities for Lausanne, and we've seen how quickly they can score themselves. They only need to start the ball rolling. The only need is a really good pass. Right now, really, no need to keep the players back. All out. Everyone in front. Kiva gets second one. That's a start. Lausanne can start from here. Quick, even if it's not a quick kickoff goal, they have the time to set it up comfortably for themselves. bam, make sure that Servette eSports are slower than you are. Make sure that you're always there. Just predict. Make sure that you are there a second earlier than Servette, and the goals will come. And just don't relent or don't stop on that pressure. Make it so that Servette fights tooth and nail for each one of these.
Lausanne running out of boost, running out of time. Opportunity's going to be taken by Kiva. The turnaround of the turnaround. We're back within one jam.
We have been speaking about Hello, we have been speaking about classics, but there's a third player on the side of Lausanne, and Kiva is the man who is currently stepping up to the plate, making sure that Lausanne is alive in this one in no time again. I mean, I don't know how they do that, but these swings are huge. Now it's Lausanne with all the chances to bring us into a tie and maybe even further. Hello passes it to Classics. What? They had to read Flav the only man on Servette's side, making sure that this doesn't go in.
That was so close. And that could have very easily gone if they didn't have three players in various positions to take the challenges. Now the ball goes back to the orange side where Kiva's going to be there to defend it. Flav going off this backboard and Hello takes control. Straight in with the aerial dribble, almost going forward. Servette just chips it back out and Sak is able to get the clear with the demo onto Hello, taking out the front line of the offense. But 15 seconds now remain. There's still ball control out to the corner. Hello going for the double touch, not by Finder. Classic pushed out the way. Kiva's got it. We're going to overtime jam. 9 seconds to score one more. Surely it shouldn't be possible.
First of all, the pass from Classics down to the center, well, the Servette is already out of it. They made all the necessary saves, but they didn't expect to pass him some closely. 9 seconds, Jay. Goal might still as well be scored. I'm looking for Flav. He's still over there. We'll be actually retreating back, maybe a little bit of a defense. Nobody wants to play it for now. Final game of the day, 4-4, Jay. We are going into the overtime to finish this all. It is not for everything just yet, but Servette and Lausanne surely fought for it. Will be quick. Zafar can push it through Sak on a really weird angle. And Lausanne live for now.
But only for now. We did say at the beginning of this series this would be a banger, and we are in a Game 5 overtime to close out the third week of the TCS eSports League. But look at the plays. There's no one in the back of the net. And they have read it. Servette have pulled it off 3-2 in the series and 5-4 in game number 5. They're going to be the final team taking the victory in week play number 3. My word, what a match we have just witnessed.
Oh, Jay, I'm happy that at least one of my predictions today was correct. And that was indeed that the last series of the day, Servette versus Lausanne, will be the best of them all. And look at that, another upset. Kiva was this close to bringing it. Actually, he brought his team into the overtime. Those 3 goals were monumental in the fact that Lausanne brought it even to this point. But then the late challenge at the end of that match meant that, unfortunately, Lausanne come out of this one with a loss. Servette step up and get a win, which actually means that Servette and Lausanne will be now tied 2-1 in the series. But as we mentioned before, 11 more series to play, 11 more weeks of Rocket League here at TCS eSports League. And if it's as good as this series, well, I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm very much looking forward to this one. Just to give you a quick updated view of where we're looking at the regular season bracket here in week number 3. Swiss Incredible Rebels currently sitting on top of the ladder at 3 victories to 0. Lausanne taking their first loss will be down by 2-1. Silent Gaming also going to be in there alongside the Servette side, who have also pushed up at 2-1. Meanwhile, feeling on the backhand side, Arctic, Elvets, the Whiffmasters, they're all in at 1-2 on their board, and the Monks currently sitting undefeated. Unvictorized. Is it how do you say that? I don't know. Bottom line is I haven't won a match yet, unfortunately. So they are still down at the bottom of the table. Still plenty more weeks to come from them, however. Hopefully they can turn it around. Hopefully they can still have a good season. And maybe you can have a good season. You know, I'm talking about that. If you are Swiss, if you have a team of 2 Swiss players, you can go ahead and join one of our 6 Challenger Cups starting on this Sunday for a chance to play in the relegation tournament against the bottom 4 teams from our table at the end of our 14-week league. So make sure you get signed up for that if you are so interested. And as for regular league play, we'll be back next week at the same time. That's 1900, 7 o'clock CEST PM. And hopefully Bacon won't have so many internet problems this time around, Jam. How about that?
Well, fingers crossed for that. Although I've enjoyed my time here, so thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, it's been a very, very good honor to have you. Thank you very much for coming in clutch today, Jam. You have no idea how much we owe you one, and we'll make sure we get that one owed at some point in time. But yes, thank you, of course, to everyone who's been joining us for this League Play broadcast. And thank you very much for joining us in that last match, especially. It was a banger. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and make sure you tune back in next week for more from the TCS Esports League. Till then, take care, and see you later.